विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ।
Hello listeners, you're listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz podcast program on STEM popularization, catalyzed and supported by the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India and Media for Community Foundation. Project devised and designed by Dr. R. Sridhar and assisted by Ashish Tiwari. Local coordination and production, Professor Subramanian. Content writing by Priyanshu and post-production by Professor Kaushik P. Kanchan of Garden City University, Bengaluru.
Garden City University, conquer we shall all adversity. Together we stand in unity. Together we strive for prosperity. GCU, emphasis on life. GCU, emphasis on life.
In the last episode, we saw Professor Joshi giving a career advice to young researchers and students who want to enter this field. And in this episode, we'll see if he runs any startup that is based on his research.
See, our research is completely basic. It is curiosity driven. It is to understand how the living world works and how evolution takes place. So, yeah, in our line of work, there is no patents and startups and all are not part of our scientific world at all.
Professor Joshi then shared an experience from his school or college that has influenced his journey in science.
Yeah, I would actually first of all like to acknowledge my parents. I was very lucky. I was born into a very academic family. My father was a professor of statistics. My mother had been a school teacher before her marriage. And so there was a certain academic culture in the family itself. And for example, one of the things our parents always taught us was that, look, marks are important, but marks are not the purpose of education. So what is more important is you should understand the subjects properly. If you do that, marks will automatically follow. So we were getting this, I think, somewhat enlightened message from home. In school in Agra, I went to a school called St. Peter's College in Agra, which was actually established in 1846. It's a very old school. One of our teachers who at various classes taught us both biology and chemistry, Dr. Ajay Babu, he has long since retired. He was a huge influence and was in many ways responsible for my tremendous interest in biology. From that time, he was a very, very enthusiastic. He was very young when he was teaching us. He was doing his PhD. He had just finished MSc and he was also teaching in our school. He used to inspire us to, go deeper into the subject. And many times I remember I used to ask him questions in the class. He would say, you meet me after the class and I'll tell you. And then once I asked him, sir, why do you ask me to come after the class? Then he said, see, you are asking questions at a much higher level than 10th standard level. If I start telling in the classroom, other students may get confused. So that's why I want to meet you afterwards. But he always encouraged. And the other person I remember very deeply who was responsible for my interest in evolution.
He also spoke about a teacher who played a very significant role in inspiring him to pursue evolutionary biology.
During MSc, I had the pleasure of attending classes taken by Professor C.R. Babu of Delhi University. And Professor Babu taught us population genetics, and that sparked a lifelong love for that subject. And that was what was responsible for me getting interested in evolution, even though I was doing MSc in genetics. And Professor Babu was the one at that time, this was in 1987, he said, look, if you are really interested in doing research in evolution, go abroad. Because in India at that time, nobody was doing research in evolution. Now it is no longer the case. And one of the things I used to think when I was doing PhD in the US, I always thought I will come back to India and then initiate research in evolution here. And one of the motivating things for me was that, like Professor Babu had to tell me, look, if you want to do evolution, go abroad. 10 years down the line, it should not be necessary for a professor to give that advice to a student. And I am so happy to share that actually this whole thing came full circle. So 6 years after I joined in JNC as an assistant professor, I got a letter from Professor Babu saying that I am sending one student to you. He is interested in metapopulation ecology. You please talk to him. And this student came, and I asked him, why have you come to me? He said that he was a student of Professor Babu's in Delhi University. And he asked him that he is interested in metapopulation dynamics, but he doesn't want to go abroad because of family reasons. And Professor Babu told him, there is this fellow called Joshi in Bangalore, you write to him. So actually, 15 years later, that cycle got completed. So Professor Babu did not have to tell him, you go abroad if you want to do research in this area. And that to me is the satisfaction of coming back. Today, we have enough good people here, quite a few of whom are my former students who are now professors. And there is a very good research community. So people who want to do PhD in many areas of evolution and ecology in India itself, there are huge opportunities for them today.
You were listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz, a podcast on STEM popularization, catalyzed and supported by National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Government of India. Tune in for more such episodes to Vigyan Ki Awaaz on this platform and also through Spotify, YouTube and Apple Music platforms.
आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ।